What up, fam? Sorry about the lawnmower dude over here. I just wanted to drop a little something on you. I got this old guy. He's in his late 70s. He's got a duplex, a 2-bedroom and a 3-bedroom. It's in pretty good shape. It needs some appliances in there, but that's, cleaned up a little bit. Maybe get rid of the carpet in the little unit and put something in there. But it has been vacant for 6 freaking years, even though it's immaculate. And I went and looked at it. He's old and retired and don't want to fart with it. He's just paying taxes on it. He bought it to help somebody to keep from going into foreclosure for taxes. So he's willing to take a loss on it. He paid 70 and he's willing to take 65. I can rent that joint for $1,200 a month. So I called him and I said, hey man, I hope you're doing okay with all this corona stuff and everything, being safe. He's like, I ain't left the house in 3 weeks. I'm bored to death. That's how he talks. I love old people like that. But anyway, I'm probably gonna sound like that when I get old, just be grumpy as hell. But anyway, so I told him, I said, look, man, the banks are froze up for I don't know how long. They got the money hemmed up, so we can't really do business as usual. But luckily for you, that we have a lot of different strategies and tactics that we can utilize in this real estate game, so that we can make deals happen even when things aren't going the way they're supposed to go. He's like, I understand. So I said, well, what we'd be interested in, we're interested in the property. It needs about a good $20,000 worth of work. And, we got to get some appliances in there and new carpet and whatever, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, yeah, I ain't done nothing to it. And I said, well, would you be interested in, I know you bought the property as a rental property. I assume that you wanted to make some income on it every month, and you haven't done it since you bought it. It's just been sitting there. So I'm trying to help you sell this place and realize your dream at the same time. And I started laughing, and he started laughing. I said, we'd be willing to make payments on it since, our money's tied up and the banks are tied up and they're not really going to be lending for a while. So with all this situation, I know you're retired and everything, and how does some guaranteed income sound for you, every month on the day? He's like, well, depends on the down payment. And I said, well, we probably could give you maybe, 5 or 10 grand down and just, let you know it's official and whatnot, and give you a little something to hold on to. And then he's like, I don't know if I'd be interested in doing payments. I'm old. I said, well, we can help you with that too. I'm sure you're probably have an estate planner or something. We can help you with our attorney, the closing attorney, to make sure that we get your stuff set up so that it's added into your estate plan. So, God forbid anything happens to you, you catch the coronas or whatever. And I started laughing, and he started laughing. I said, you don't want to catch the coronas, but if you do, your estate planning can be all set up. That way your money's not just going to disappear. The deal still stands and everything goes exactly as planned. Is the exact way that we filed everything. So it just moves on to the next recipient of who's going to be collecting the rent every month, or the payments every month, and the balloon at the end. So we're going to do a 3-year balloon on $65,000. And then he said, well, what kind of interest should be on there? And I said, well, we don't really typically like to pay interest. And the reason why is, see, here's the thing. When you're talking to sellers, you need to be able to give them a reason why, bro. You can't just be like, we don't pay interest. Because they're like, okay, bye. You need to be like, and here's why, right? Everything you tell a seller, you need to have a why. You need to be able to explain stuff to these people, right? So I said, we don't really do interest, and here's why, because we have to realize a profit in some form or another, whether it's up front, during every month, or at the end, or however we do the deal. We need to be able to make a profit. And on a property like this, when we're financing it, the margin's tight, so we need to be making a monthly profit of something, right? It doesn't have to be huge. It doesn't have to, but we need to be making something for us to even want to deal with it. So if you start adding interest on there, then it's hard for us to pay the property off and make profit at the same time every month. So usually what we'll do, if somebody's, wanting interest or something like that, we can tack on maybe 10 payments at the end of the mortgage or something like that. And he's like, okay, that sounds pretty good. I said, it ends up being about the same, except for we're able to cash flow every month. We're able to make a little dollar every month. And he's like, okay, well, that sounds like that makes sense. So you just add them on the back of the payments? I said, yes, sir. We'll throw 10 extra payments on there, which we're never going to pay that, because we're going to pay it off way before that, right, for the original price that we agreed on. He said, well, what would be the amount then? I said, we could do 68.4. $68,400 with the 10 payments on the back. So that right there told him that my payment's gonna be low, okay? Because there's gonna be a balloon in 3 years. So if he's $68,400 paid off in 3 years on a monthly payment, you imagine what that payment's gonna be? Like $350. So I can rent the place for probably $1,200, $1,100 to $1,200. It's 2 apartments, 2 bedroom and a 3 bedroom. Really all it needs is cleaned up and some appliances and some new carpet in the little one. So you're probably looking at about $5,500 or maybe $6,000 worth of busted out real quick like work. But anywho, that's how you work a little seller finance deal, y'all. I give you $5,000 to $10,000 down, which means 7, right? 6 or 7. And I'll pay you every month with no interest. I'll ding 10 payments on the back end. The price was $65. Shut up, boy. The price was $65. And he said, how much would it be after the 10 extra payments? I said $68,400. So obviously, the payments on the end are not correlating with what I imagine the payments for the first 3 years is going to be. So because he accepted that $68,400, now I can recalculate it, make my balloon bigger in the back end, and make my payments lower in the front end. You see, there's a little psychology stuff going on here, people. You got to be paying attention to what you're saying to people, because what you tell them is what they know, and what you don't tell them, it's up for grabs. Like, it's up for debate in their mind. So be careful how you talk to people. Don't give anybody any definites, because they're going to hold you to everything you say. If you tell them I'm going to close in less than 30 days with cash, they're counting on that. I never say that. That's a gimmick, bro. There's no cash that crosses hands in a real estate transaction, ever. Okay? So really, you're lying. And if you can't close it in less than 30 days, now you're lying. And now you're making a bad name for everybody else. You feel me? So you don't have to say all that to get a deal. I never say cash. I never say 30 days. I tell people, well, I can't guarantee when the closing date is, open-ended. But typically it's around 45 days. It may vary, just depending on how busy the attorneys are and whether we run into anything, in the title search that we got to take care of, or whatever, or it takes a while to get our partners over here to look at it, whatever. I mean, it's whatever you tell them is what they know. So if you don't tell them everything, then it's flexible, man. Leave yourself some flexibility. If you're going around here, 30 days cash, that's what they want. And then when they don't get cash at the end and they get a check, they're pissed. So I did that in the beginning, and I was like, people were pissed because they got a check. I'm like, oh, sorry, that just means that we paid with cash, so we don't have to wait for a mortgage. You can still use the cash gimmick thing. Just explain something. I'm not showing up with a bag of money for you. You're going to get a check, but we're going to pay with cash. That way we don't have to go through the process of inspections and a mortgage and all that other junk, so we can get it done faster. That's what the cash thing means. Explain, if you're going to be saying cash, explain what it means. Because people assume shit. And you don't want to assume stuff, and then you prove it wrong, and now you're an asshole, and now all investors are assholes. So get your shit together, man. Learn how to talk to people and tell them what they need to hear that's going to benefit you. Right? Be smart about shit. All right, y'all. I just want to tell you about that little deal. It's done, pretty much. About to go sign the paperwork probably later today or tomorrow morning. But, and then also on this 10,000, I told him it's going to take us about 3 months to get that place ready to rock and roll and get somebody in there. So I'm not going to give him that money up front until I put somebody in that joint. You see? Flexibility, man. I'm not going to run over there and get that man 10 grand. Hell no. I'm going to get that man 2 payments of 7 grand. 3,500 when somebody moves in, and 3,500 when the other person moves in. Something like that. Or I'll give him 3,500 when the first person, after we get it fixed up and the first person moves in, and I'll give him the other 3,500 6 months down the road or something. And I'll tell him, hey, we're going to spread this out for you so you got a nice little lick coming. You got a nice little holiday money coming or something. Keep you going. We're going to pay you every month and give you a couple little chunks of money. Right? So now when you pay that thing off and you added them 10 payments on the back end, you pay it off early, you only pay for the original price that you agreed on. You don't pay them extra payments because you didn't extend it. So see, I just saved myself with $3,400 right there. You just got to be smart, people. This real estate thing is flexible. You can be flexible, all right? It's whatever you want it to be. We coming up on 10 minutes, but if I put the seller owes me a brand new pair of Jordans in every contract we sign, if they sign it, when we close, your boy got a brand new pair of Jordans. That's how it works. It's whatever you agree on and everybody agrees on. As long as it's legal, you're good to go. All right? Come with the lawnmower, whatever you want it to do. All right, y'all. I'm the Savage Investor. If you need some coaching, hit me up at the Savage Investor on Facebook or the Savage Investor on IG, or drop me a message right here in my YouTube, and I'll be happy to coach you with some straightforward, no BS, detailed, step-by-step information and get you going so you can be out here capitalizing during this recession. Adios, y'all. Go kill something.